This is the Rolling Empires component video. What's in the box? First we have the rule book. Beautiful 12-page rule book filled with descriptions and glossaries and all sorts of information to help facilitate learning and playing the game. Let's take a look at the cards. So the cards they sent, the art turned out really, really nicely. The one thing that's a bit unusual is the card quality. It seems to be a strange card thickness. So we spoke to the manufacturer and they're going to give us a different type of card that's going to be much nicer. But yeah, the cards themselves turned out really, really well. They came out artistically very nice. I really like the way they look. And these ones have a linen finish, and we're debating whether we're going to go with their heavy linen finish or they have kind of a finer style that looks really nice. So we're going to decide at the final moment what we like. But they have a lot of varieties that are nice. And you got the workshop and mine cards. They turned out pretty nice. And so each copy of the game comes with probably about, I'd say, 100 cards. And we have the conquest cards. And my favorite, the monument cards with all the new artwork from the Kickstarter campaign. They turned out beautifully. "32 of these with individual unique pieces of art. Very pleased with how those turned out. We've got the castles. So these are going to be the castles that each player is going to get. They measure out to be about an inch tall. Solid wood. They turned out pretty nice. Now the land tiles. The land tiles are exciting. These were done on a very rigid 2mm chipboard, nice and solid, not going to warp, and their cutout is precise. They line up very, very well. And now, for all of those people during the Kickstarter campaign that wanted to see different artwork on the tiles, what we've done is we have printed the new style artwork that we got in the campaign, and for those that like the classic, on the reverse, we're going to have the classic artwork as well. The conquest cards are going to reflect the new art style, but the color coding will make it easy to figure out which tiles you'd need, even if you're using the older style. Green for green, yellow for yellow, red for red, white for white. And so, we've got the different land tiles here. We have the forest, wheat, the mountain, the desert, and we also have and the crash site tile. In total, there's 33 land tiles. Very hefty, very sturdy. Happy with those. We also have the player reference sheets. These player reference sheets are very broad. They came out really well. The artwork looked very good. Then on the flip side, there's a personal glossary of icons for each player, so they won't have to refer to the rule book constantly. You could each have your own glossary of icons for figuring out what the games are. And there are faction sheets for all 6 of the factions. We have elementals, Imperials, the Wizards, the Goblins, the Dwarves, and the Elves. So the draw bags. I made a little mistake with my manufacturer in the dimensions, and so the dimensions of the draw bags came very small. They will be bigger. You will be able to put your hand in the final version. These ones, I guess, are a true sample, not true size, but we get the idea. And inside, each faction is going to have their control tokens, which we decided to go with discs. During the campaign, we were tossed up between discs or wooden cubes. The issue with the wooden cubes was that when you had multiple dice on a tile, the cube could be easily hidden and it was difficult to see. So now, when you have a control token and you have your die on the control token, there will be no confusing who owns that tile from anywhere on the board. Look at these dice. Engraved. Each faction has a unique number and a unique set for each of their creatures. We have the Wizards. We have the Imperials. We have a beautiful dice. And each faction will come with these 6 base dice. So everyone starts with the same 6 basic white dice. And these white dice, they are going to start your resource and attack engine to get the game rolling. And from there, you can build out either your own custom dice game, custom cards, to give yourself a unique engine building experience. Other components are... Each game comes with a standard D8 for a round tracker. The game has 5 rounds by standard rules, and you count down as you go. These are crystals for magic. The 5 represent 1 magic, and the red represent 5 each. And so magic is a very important part of the game, and it's worth a lot of points at the end if you can hoard it. And finally in here, we also have mixed in our neutral dice. This was a mini expansion in the Kickstarter campaign. It was the neutral add-ons, and each one of these dice is unique. There's only 1 of each of them, and these creatures all have very special abilities, and they're an optional add-on. When played, there will be a public pool of creatures that any player may buy from, and each one of these has a card that goes along with it to represent what it does. And they're very fun, and they have very interesting and varied abilities, but they're totally optional. They're not necessary for the base game to be functional. And so that's it. That's the components for Rolling Empires, base game with mini expansion. Thanks for watching.